Hello everyone, welcome back to the Movie Reviewers 100. My name is Scott, also known as CINERAM. I do the Thursday reviews here on this collaboration channel. We've had a fantastic week because our theme has been horror comedy, and it seems like everybody is excited about that particular genre. I like horror comedies myself, more than just straight horror, I guess you could say. Not the biggest fan of horror. Lots and lots of people here on YouTube who are movie buffs or movie collectors. They love horror. They have all kinds of horror movies. It's never been one of my favorites, but there are certain, types of horror movies that I like and certain examples that are good. And horror comedy is usually a winner for me because it invites everyone to not take it so seriously. A lot of movies that are about slashers or what have you are laughable because they're dumb or just badly made, what have you. But horror comedies sort of invite a humorous sort of look at it. So I wanted to talk about two movies actually. I was trying to pick between two and I couldn't decide, so I thought I'll just talk about both of them. They both came out around the same time, late 2006, early 2007. One is Slither, directed by James Gunn, who went on to do Super with Rainn Wilson and Ellen Page, and he is also the director of the new Marvel movie Guardians of the Galaxy, which will be in theaters exactly 1 year from now. It's coming out in August of next year. The main characters are played by Nathan Fillion, Captain Malcolm Reynolds from Firefly, and of course Castle, Elizabeth Banks, and Michael Rooker. Michael Rooker's appeared in, he was also in Slither, and he's in, he was also in Super, and he's in Guardians of the Galaxy as well. But he's probably best known for playing Henry, the main character in Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer from the early 90s. It's like this seminal, low-budget serial killer movie, more of a realistic take on serial killer films. Michael Rooker plays a character by the name of Grant. Grant is his first name and his last name. Way to go, parents. Good one. He is probably one of the wealthiest guys in the small town that the movie takes place in. He's owner of a car dealership, basically, and he's married to Elizabeth Banks. But he's not the most pleasant guy, and Elizabeth Banks probably wishes that all those years ago she had married Nathan Fillion instead because he was her childhood crush. Or she was his crush, something like that. Anyway, Nathan Fillion plays Bill Party, who is the sheriff of the small town. And when Grant is out having an affair with some woman, behind Elizabeth Banks' back, he gets infected with an alien parasite. This meteorite crashes into a field, it burrows itself into his chest and begins to take over his actions and propagate itself. The woman that he was about to sleep with, he infects her with more parasites, and he ends up feeding her lots of raw meat animals so she'll grow to enormous size and spread the alien maggots everywhere. People get infected by the maggots, they start to act on behalf of the parasite, which is controlling all of them, even though it's speaking like it is Grant, actually, even though it's not. And it's up to Elizabeth Banks and Nathan Fillion and the mayor of the town, who's played by Greg Henry, I think, to stop it. This is a really funny movie, and it is really, really disgusting. They have lots and lots of disgusting special effects and makeup work, especially on Michael Rooker. He's got so much elaborate makeup to deal with, so it must have been tough. But it's a fun movie, lots of fun, and I definitely recommend, if you look at the disc, check the outtakes because they're lots of fun. They have this sort of theme going on where whenever anyone blows a line or just screws up, they'll look right into the camera and go, "I'm Bill Party." That's the name of Nathan Fillion's character. They'll just turn the camera and go, "I'm Bill Party." It's like, I screwed up. I don't know, whatever their version of it. It's fun. It's a fun movie. The other movie I want to talk about is very different, although still funny, and that is Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon. This is one of the movies that made my top 5 of 2007. If you're a big gore hound, if you love the special effects, the disgusting imagery and spectacular kills, you're probably going to be disappointed by Behind the Mask. It is not that type of movie, at least it doesn't focus on that. There are kills, there's death, but a lot of it is, underplayed, some of it even off camera. Someone will withdraw a bloody knife from a body. That's pretty much all you'll see, things like that. Its emphasis is more on character, and although a lot of people describe it as a mock documentary, it really isn't. It has a lot of documentary style footage in it, and I think this is a very smart move on the part of the director Scott Glasserman to basically keep the budget down by having most of the scenes in the movie, at least 60% of the movie, if not more, shown via camcorder footage. The story is you've got some graduate students, one of whom is an aspiring journalist, and she's got a couple of her fellow students to help her by shooting video. She's making a documentary about this guy, Leslie Vernon, who she found through, I don't know, some personal ads or whatever. He is the next aspiring masked killer. He, like Jason Voorhees or Freddy Krueger or Michael Myers, guys like that. These characters exist for real in the world of this film. It takes place within the world of horror movies. So the characters like Jason and Freddy, they are actual newsworthy killers like Jeffrey Dahmer or Charles Manson, rather than simply fictional characters. And this guy, Leslie Vernon, he's been training and preparing his backstory and getting ready to make his big debut, in which he's going to slaughter a bunch of high school students who are drinking and fornicating in this cabin out in the middle of nowhere, and thus he's going to start his own legend. And he is a mentor. He's a mentor who's played by Stuart Wilson, who was Amy Adams' father in Juno. He is one of the sort of a retired mass slaughterer from the 70s, I guess. And he settled down with a woman who apparently was his Laurie Strode. Laurie Strode, of course, is the character played by Jamie Lee Curtis in Halloween. They have this term which they call a survivor girl, whereas the killer will knock off a whole bunch of people in a group, but the one girl, the sort of virtuous, sexually inexperienced girl, is left standing to fight him off. She might die, she might live, but the point is that there's this confrontation at the end, and this is all sort of part of the legend that's supposed to take shape as Leslie Vernon makes his debut. So this guy, Stuart Wilson, he had a survivor girl, and now they're living together like as man and wife, and that really sort of confused me when I sort of got the picture of what was actually happening there. I was thinking to myself, well, wait a second, does this mean that, are they actually married? Did they sleep together? If they do, does he then have to kill her because she's not a virgin anymore or something like that? It's not really clear, but it's kind of interesting to think about. So the journalist, who's played by Angela Gertis, and this is an actress I haven't seen in a lot of stuff. She's a very pale blonde actress who has appeared in guest roles in like Grey's Anatomy and 24. She's basically sort of the leader of the group. She's appearing on camera, conducting interviews with Leslie Vernon, watching him make his preparations, preparing the cabin with all sorts of tricks to trap the teenagers, and getting his mask together, getting his backstory together, killing a few preliminary victims, you know, just sort of set things up. And after a while, I started to go, why are these people making a documentary about this guy? Aren't they going to try and stop him? And eventually they do sort of go, you know, we really ought to think about stopping this guy from killing all these teenagers. It just sort of blew my mind, their whole attitude to the project. But it's a really good movie. Again, not big on the gore, not big on the spectacular kills. If you want to see those, see Slither. That's definitely the one for it. You know, lots of great special effects and really, really gross stuff happening in that one. Leslie Vernon, Behind the Mask, not so much, but it's still a really good movie. Makes you think. And there's an extra on this DVD that I like as well. The Behind the Mask crew, they have a commentary in which they talk about the making of the film, and it's very, very entertaining. It's, you know, a lot better than the usual big studio stuff, because they're all sitting together joking around and reminiscing about what it was like to shoot the picture. So it's definitely a good one to see. Both these movies I like a lot, Behind the Mask especially, but you can choose depending on what you like, how you prefer your horror, and whichever way you go, you'll probably be very satisfied. So thank you very much for watching, appreciate it. Check out all the other guys' reviews. We've had some great videos this week, very enthusiastic of course because of the genre, and we'll have a new theme starting tomorrow. Thanks again, and I'll see you real soon. Bye.